Ahead of the 2018 Isle of Man TT, Peter Hickman competed at other TT events in 2014, 2015, and 2017. Throughout those years he achieved 4 podiums, but 0 wins. This changed to Monday during the RL360 Superstock race, when the 31-year-old English rider was able to oust 17-time TT winner Michael Dunlop, who won the opening 2 TT's RST Superbike Monster Energy Supersport 1. BMW's Peter Hickman. The Smiths Racing BMW S1000RR pilot claimed the victory at the 37.73-mile mountain course by 4.4 seconds ahead of MD Racing BMW's Michael Dunlop. Claiming the final podium position was Silicone Engineering Kawasaki ZX10R pilot Dean Harrison. En route to his win, Hickman also set a new Superstock lap record on the 4th and final lap. Hickman posted a 134.403 miles per hour, which was just shy of the new outright lap record set by Harrison during the RST Superbike TT, 134.432 miles per hour, from a standing start. Following is the official IOMTT recap. The race saw the top 3 swap positions from throughout the race, but a stunning new lap record of 134.403 miles per hour on his final lap, just outside Harrison's outright lap record from Saturday's RST Superbike race, enabled the Burton-upon-Trent rider to come home in a new race record some 58.7s quicker than the old mark. Harrison led Dunlop by 3.5 seconds through Glen Helen on the first lap, with Johnson in third and Rutter, Hillier and David Johnson completing the top 6. But it had been a slow start to the race for Hickman, who was down in an unfamiliar 10th spot after running straight on at Braddon Bridge, with newcomer Davey Todd flying in 9th place. By Ballow, Harrison had ended his lead to 4.4s, and through Ramsey for the first time it had crept up again to 4.8s. Hickman had got going and had jumped up to third, 6 seconds behind Dunlop and 3.5s ahead of Rutter. Gary Johnson was in 5th and Connor Cummins in 6th as just 2 seconds covered 4th to 8th placed Hillier, who had dropped to the back of the group. BMW's Michael Dunlop, an opening lap of 133.073 miles per hour, was just a whisker outside Ian Hutchinson's lap record from 2016 for the class, and he was now 4.3s ahead of Dunlop, with Hickman only a further 3.3s behind in third. The gap to Rutter was bigger, at 12.8s, with Cummins, David Johnson, Hillier and Gary Johnson now the running order, as Todd completed the lap in a brilliant 9th place after a lap of 127.625 miles per hour. As they got to Glen Helen, Harrison's lead was up to 5.7s as Hickman closed to within 1.4s of Dunlop, and by Ballow, he'd nosed ahead of the Ballymoney rider by 0.8s. The race was all about these 3 riders, as Rutter was now over 22s adrift in 4th. Through Ramsey hairpin, Hickman had cut Harrison's lead to 2.4s, with Dunlop, who also won the Supersport 1 race Monday, only 2.2s back in third. Rutter was still in 4th, but his advantage over David Johnson was a slender 1.5s, with Hillier only 0.8s behind the Australian. There was disappointment for Cummins though, as he retired. At the head of the field, Hickman were really pressing on, and a sensational lap of 134.077 miles per hour saw him arrive at his pit stop with a 1.2s lead over Harrison, with Dunlop only 1.8s behind in third, just 3 seconds covering the trio. David Johnson had moved up to 4th ahead of Rutter and Hillier, but it was extremely tight as just 1 second separated the 3 riders. Meanwhile, Todd became the second fastest newcomer ever with his lap 127.890 miles per hour, moving him up to an unbelievable 7th place. The pit stops shuffled the order, with Dunlop hitting the front for the first time at Glen Helen on lap 3. His lead over Harrison half a second, with Hickman slipping back to third, albeit only a further 0.7s in arrears. Johnson was holding station in fourth, but Hillier had moved up to fifth at the expense of Rudder, whilst Gary Johnson was another high-profile retirement. Dunlop still led at Ballow, but only just, with Hickman back up to second and only a minuscule 0.178s adrift. Harrison was still very much in contention, 1 second behind Hickman, and Hillier had now got in front of Johnson, albeit by 0.047s. Kawasaki's Dean Harrison Hickman was back ahead by 0.87s as he rounded Ramsey hairpin, with Harrison now 1.7s behind Dunlop, whilst the battle for fourth continued to rage. Johnson now back ahead of Hillier by 0.088s. The scene was set for a thrilling final lap, and although just 0.5s split leader Hickman and Dunlop, it looked like Harrison was racing for third as he'd slipped almost 5 seconds behind Dunlop. Hickman added another 0.8 of a second to his lead at Glen Helen, only for Dunlop to pull 2 of those tenths back on the run to Ballow. And by Ramsey, Dunlop's charge continued as he brought the gap down to 0.146s. However, Hickman responded immediately and set a sensational sector time from Ramsey to the Bungalow, the fastest ever, as he did from the Bungalow to Kronk NY Mona, and with a new lap record of 134.403 miles per hour, just a fraction outside Harrison's outright record from Saturday, gave him his maiden TT win. Dunlop was an eventual 4.4s back in second, with Harrison in third and Johnson, Hillier and Rudder filling the top 6 places. Martin Jessop, Sam West, Ivan Linton and Todd completed the top 10, West the first privateer to finish. Dunlop, 70, extended his lead over Hickman, 41, in the Joey Dunlop Championship to 29 points, with Hillier in third on 40. West now leads the TT Privateers Championship on 58 points.